Hey, welcome to the Mark Workman Show and the Pioneer Mind podcast. Excited to be here today. We're starting a regular series today. This is going to go ongoing. Kind of every Thursday, we're going to film an episode because we care about our own mind and our own health and our own future, our own spirits. Um, just and Kathy is really promoting all of those things with her Unicity protocol. And again, it's been a life-changing thing for our family, but we want to do a regular show every week to encourage you, to take you farther in your own journey, simply because the world's kind of coming at you and it'll keep coming at you. And if you don't start learning and shaping your mind and all those kind of things, you're just going to be in the wrong spot at the end of the day. So really, the truth of it is we want to do a show that encourages you. We certainly don't want to point fingers or tell or be some sort of condescending thing. It really is to promote you and help you just be the best you can be. And again, everyone needs that encouragement. We don't go very far without it. So to thank you for coming. And if you can, hit the subscribe and like button. And that helps the show grow, helps us reach out even farther. And it's free to you and it costs you nothing, but it helps us. So just please do that. And just to jump right into it, here we go. And welcome, Kathy. Thanks for coming to the show today.
Well, good morning. Yeah, our health is our wealth. And a lot of times we spend a lot of our energy chasing wealth, and we forget about our health. So that's kind of a piece of the puzzle that I'm excited to share today. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we always we're going to try to start with testimonies in the future. We're going to bring people in that have it's crazy, some of the stuff that we already know of what people have said. It's been pretty fascinating to hear the subtlest things, for me, like I can just say quickly inflammation. I haven't had necessarily weight loss, so I'm gonna be honest about that. But I probably got some cortisol and other stress things going on there that aren't helping either. So I got to figure those things out. But I had a weird one with my toenails from going, getting that cleared up, and
Skin issues.
definitely skin issues, big time. So it was really weird, kind of some of the things that I would have not thought of when you're thinking about we don't want to call this a diet because it's really a lifestyle. But when you change the way you're doing things, it sometimes you expect certain outcomes and you get others. It's pretty fascinating.
Well, it's everything is a chain reaction, and that's what I'll talk about here in a little bit with the big problem is, you start with one little thing and then it leads to the next and it leads to the next and it leads to the next. So if you can get to the root of something, all of a sudden these little irritating things that we've been tolerating can actually maybe be healed or go away.
Yeah, and again, it's as we say, we started probably 10 years ago, and I'm still finding ways that I'm researching on my own because I don't necessarily want to go to a doctor per se. I am finding out my own information, reading my own books, doing my own research. Oh, that's what's going on there. And it's something I was not aware of. So I'm always going to be working on this kind of the rest of my life. So I think that's important thing for people to know. It's not a quick fix.
Absolutely. Well, and what we know is we've been brainwashed into believing a lot of things. We've let go of our own empowerment over our own bodies, believing that somebody else knows better than we do. And our bodies were fearfully and wonderfully made. God didn't make us with a pill deficiency.
No.
So if we're trying to treat a lifestyle problem with a pill or a medication, it's never going to work. So we're working uphill with a lot of wrong information. And, you talked about testimonies, and honestly, it was the testimonies that probably won me over. I was already have been in the weight loss industry for a decade, helping people with a different tool. But when I found this tool and again, the compounding testimonies of people getting better and better, not worse and worse. Hey, I used to have IBS. I couldn't leave the house. Now my guts are health. I used to have depression, anxiety. I used to be 400 pounds. Now I'm, 300 and I'm on my way. I'm sleeping better through the night. I have better energy. Brain fog is gone. It's just that empowerment of hearing people getting better and better that is so encouraging to me. And I'm like, I need to be a part of that. I need to get out of the office so I can help more people. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, and that is your drive, and I see that. And the thing is, you said something, I don't know when it was, maybe it was this morning, during a conversation we were having at the time. Basically, you were saying that a lot of people say, "Oh, this just must be a gimmick," right?
Oh, everybody's skeptical. We all started skeptical. So if you're skeptical right now, you're in the right place.
Yeah, and again, I think that's an okay spot because, as you and we don't hide it as we've gotten older. If you're friends of ours, we don't hide the fact that we found out a lot of things that were our sacred cows, things that we believed in as young people were told were the truth. As you get older, you start realizing just about everything has been uh, marketed, changed from 3 meals a day to, realizing you don't need as much food, all those kind of things. There's just so many things coming at you that aren't true.
Right.
And so we don't trust anything.
Yeah.
So to get past that, this might be a gimmick, we understand, or you do at least, that that's probably the first response for most people.
Yeah, and you can get irritated by it, or honestly, I was in the same boat, so you just get entertained by it, when you're talking to somebody and they're, telling you all their health issues, they're 100 pounds overweight, they're drinking their Coke, and then they're like, I do my research. I want to know what's in your natural product. Can I have the ingredient list? And, I don't get offended. I get it, like I said, it's more entertaining, but I get it. I understand. And, but that's the other thing is I guess I love is if you're skeptical right now, you're in the right place because everybody starts their testimony with, I was skeptical. And I think the other skeptical part is we're almost afraid to have a solution because sometimes we can so identify with the problem that it's a part of our identity.
Mm.
And I was thinking about that. I was at an airport having a very casual conversation with a woman, and she was telling me what she does, and she helps teach blind people how to read, which sounds really ludicrous. Like, you don't teach blind people how to read, but she does. So all things are possible. So I was telling her that I help reverse type 2 diabetes. And she was like, you can't reverse type 2 diabetes. I go, well, I've seen it happen. And she just got mad. Like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So we end up protecting the very thing that's making us miserable. I think that's called an addiction. The very thing that we're trying to hold on to is the thing that's making us
Well, it's
miserable.
42 teaspoons of sugar every day for the average American.
47.
47,
You're right. Yeah.
excuse me. Whatever. It's just crazy when you think about that thing called sugar. And, again, you'll talk more about that.
Mhm.
So really what I want to, next step, I just want, I appreciate that. Let's move into a little more of the science of this. And I'm going to pull up some info here for you on the solution. No, the problem, excuse
Yeah.
me. And talk about the problem a little bit and give some people some insights on what is going on here.
Okay. So when you understand the big problem, if you look at this, I call it the wheel of torture or the wheel of fortune, if you happen to be in big pharma, all of these issues from diabetes, cancer, PCOS, fatty liver, heart disease, high blood pressure, Alzheimer's, migraines, erectile dysfunction, neuropathy, obesity, all of these are symptoms. And when I was in the weight loss industry, I was dealing with the obesity. People would come in. And again, that's why I say having excess fat is actually a blessing because there's a problem. Because we can have thin people that can still have a lot of these other problems, but they never can connect it back to, the insulin resistance. And so anyway, you can see the big problem is all of these different things in the medical field has broke us into body parts. So now you're going to a specialist, and a lot of people can have up to 5 or 6 specialists. So now you're going to the specialist for your fatty liver, and they're going to give you a pill for the symptoms. They're never fixing the problem. They're only managing it. And now you probably got some heart issues now too, because if you got a fatty liver, your insulin is high, which means you probably have some heart issues. You can have the high blood pressure, neuropathy. Any of those things are symptoms that are telling you there's a bigger root problem. And as you see in the middle, the bullseye is that insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is a word that when I heard it, I'm like, oh, that's for type 2 diabetics. I don't need to know anything about that. But insulin is your number one hormone of the body. I like to say it's like the spine or the electrician of the body. And it's insulin's job to take everything that we intake into our body. It has to take that energy and stuff it into the cells and get it to the brain, get it to your feet, get it to your fingers, get it to all your appendages. But what happens is when we eat so much, and the standard American diet has changed so dramatically in the last 30, 40 years with all the um, sugar and the hidden things that insulin, when we eat, like say, for example, sitting next to a guy on the airplane and he ordered a cranberry cocktail, thinking it would be probably a healthier choice than a Coke.
Right.
So it has 60 grams of sugar in that fruit drink, and a Coke has 39. So in this, he just drank 15 teaspoons of sugar. And then, of course, he had the little waffle cookie with it, which was another 5 teaspoons of sugar. So he's at 20 teaspoons of sugar in just a snack. So what's going to happen is his blood sugar is going to go up, and then insulin has to come in and bring all that down and try to put it into places. Well, pretty soon the cells get tight and they go, I'm full, can't take any more. So insulin's like, what am I going to do with this? I got to get it out of here so these guys don't kill themselves. Let's stuff it in their liver, fatty liver. Let's stick it in the joints. Let's stick it in different places. So now insulin is going rogue with all this extra energy. Now we need storage units. So let's make more storage. Fat cells are getting bigger and bigger. And we're in this storage and damage mode. And insulin is a growth hormone. And so it just makes us grow, makes the blood vessels grow, all of those. So back to the problem. When you look at it, 93% of the American adults are metabolically unhealthy. Some of it you see, some of you don't. The word metabolic just means how does your body, how does your brain process energy? And when we're talking about Alzheimer's is your brain can't process any of the energy because the energy's shorted out. It's not getting to the brain. Some of the other symptoms that really we should all have a list anytime you go to a physician's and go, hey, do you have any acid reflux? How about belly fat, skin tags, inflammation, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, high blood pressure, constant cravings? All of those are symptoms that your insulin is off. You have insulin resistance. And they say where 2 or more are gathered together, most likely you got insulin resistance.
Differentiate between metabolic health and insulin resistance. Metabolic health is how your body uses energy, correct?
Correct. Yep.
So basically, with insulin resistance, your body stops using energy correctly.
Exactly. So when those cells get tight and are resistant to insulin, your cells no longer are getting the energy. That's why we can have low energy. We have brain fog. Energy's not getting to the brain. Energy might not be getting to your feet, called neuropathy, might not be getting to the end of your pole. We call that erectile dysfunction. All of these things are symptoms that your insulin is high.
Okay. So,
and you're resistant to it. So insulin resistance.
Anything else on the problem you want to talk about?
No, I think the problem is pretty evident in most people's.
Yeah.
we can see that.
Well, again, I don't think it is evident. I agree with that it's evident. Everyone can say they don't feel well and they struggle with some things. But the truth of it is you start talking that it's this simple. Hey, just, think about the word carb or sugar. Your fruits and vegetables are loaded with carbs, so eat those at a certain time. You don't have to eliminate them. But if you start just rethinking about how you organize your food and what you eat and the amounts, your body reacts beautifully, right?
Yeah, and it's one of those, the truth can set you free. But when you recognize again how brainwashed we've been to think that everything has to be hard. Oh, you got to work hard, get to the gym, work hard, eat less. Um, so much of that stuff has to be unlearned. And, don't eat fats. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Just a number of the different things that we've believed over the years have us entangled in chasing this thing. And it's so nice when you get to that place of freedom. Like, for example, I just had the privilege of spending 4 days at an all-inclusive hotel, top-ranked hotel that had, the coffee shops, the pastries, the desserts, the gelatos, rooms and rooms of different restaurants and opportunities. And it was so empowering to go there and not feel obligated to eat my money's worth.
Right. There you go.
Because we're told, oh, got to get your money's worth. And, oh, I'm on vacation. All those little things we tell ourselves. But the truth is, I know eating those things makes me feel gross,
Yeah.
gassy, bloated, lethargic. So when you can start connecting the dots and rewiring, oh, that's not a treat, that's kind of miserable. No thanks.
Right. No, I get
It
it.
was really super awesome.
Yeah, no, it's good to start having that control. And like in some of the things you've been involved with in the past, they're not negatives. Like Jenny Craig or Ideal Protein. Those in some ways, like even those programs help me. So I can just say it
Hmm.
truthfully, right?
Right.
But at the same time, they start taking the decisions out of your hands and give you a protocol that is you kind of you keep a journal, you strict this and that. This is teaching you how to recognize what a food is and which one to put in your mouth, right?
Yeah.
It's more intuitive and organic for me as a
Yep.
person than me looking at a sheet. Okay, you have to do this. They structure it pretty well in those programs.
Right. Yeah, and I think structure is an important thing. However, when the food noise is gone, you really can make very wise
Sure.
choices. And obviously, our food environment has changed dramatically since the 70s. I mean, when we were kids, we didn't have all the snack foods. You'd come in the afternoon after school and you're hungry, and your mom would go, nope, we'll have dinner here pretty soon. Don't want to ruin your dinner. Where now food is so everywhere. You do the drive through, you have it at work, you have it everywhere. So we're seeing the fruit of that, so to speak, in our physical bodies because of the food environment. And that's really what drew me to the Unicity. Being in the weight loss industry, I've watched people work very hard to get their weight off. And the frustration is they come back because it goes back on. They go back to their same habits, they go back to the same food environment. And then they go, oh, that program didn't work. Well, it wasn't the program that wasn't working. It was our systems that weren't working. And so when I found this Unicity as a simple add on to help control that food noise, so people that have worked hard could, now use this protocol as their maintenance plan. Um, I just thought it was fabulous. And I'm really excited for me personally that I found it. And the more I find out about the protocol, it's more than just a maintenance program. I mean, people are reversing their type 2 diabetes. It's helping them with their weight, helping them with the education. And because there's so much different information out there, it's really, I guess my thing is, if you want to know if you got the right information, see what it does to your body.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, and the thing of it is I've shared this with you many times. Is I'm much more of a guy who likes to create, and it takes time to do this. I think is to create lifestyle habit changes rather than I'm not a big follow this list because I know it's not going to change me. I have to get to the core in my own mind and my own thinking. What's my motive for even desiring a Frosty on the way home from work when I know I shouldn't have one or whatever years ago,
Hmm.
and so I want to be more organic and then more in my own thought processes within my own self control, which we know is possible.
Hmm.
And a lot of people don't think it is. I just can't stop. Right.
Well, honestly, it's like talking to an alcoholic when they're drunk and you're trying to convince them that they need to get get clean. The sugar addiction is real. We are in this dopamine rush all the time, and it's really difficult for people to even make those decisions in the middle of their high. And because we're doing this all the time, I think that's where some of the skepticism comes is, again, we're protecting the very thing that's making us miserable. And until we can this protocol helps you start doing that intermittent fasting, your brain can clear. Then you're like, now I can make an intelligent decision.
Right.
But,
Well,
taking a piece of candy away from a kid, you're going to get them, they're screaming.
right.
And adults aren't much different.
No, it's 100% true. So, well, let's get into the
Oh, we did.
solution.
I love the solution. So, again, the solution is this Unicity product. We've had over 20 different clinical studies. The Cleveland Clinic has done big studies on it. It's health savings approved. It's an actual nutraceutical. It was Rexall drug that was going to bring this out in the 80s because of the diabetes that they were seeing was going through the roof. And about that time, Big Pharma had the megaphone and the money, and they're like, wait a minute, we can lower your cholesterol. Because before that, you could be 200, 300, 400, 600. They didn't care. Actually, statistically, the higher your cholesterol, the longer your life expectancy. But we have a pill that will lower it. So now we wrote a line in the sand, 200. If you got to be below 200. So now we've got 67 million people on statins. And a statin has all kinds of side effects from joint pain, dizziness, diarrhea, constipation, and it lowers your risk of a heart issue by 1%. But we're finding statistically it raises Alzheimer's by 24%. So we've lived long enough using these meds that we know what the side effects are and we know they're not working. But once a lie gets going, people just keep perpetuating it. So back to the solution. This is Rexall drug was going to bring this out about that time, and Big Pharma took over the statins. Everybody got on statins. 67 million people got on statins. And this product kind of went to the wayside. It actually went to a lot of other countries because they don't have the medical advertising, they don't have the medical access, and so they wanted things more natural. A nutraceutical is like a pharmaceutical, only it's natural. We're in 50 plus countries. This product is patented, and it comes with a 90-day guarantee, which I think is amazing. You're never going to find any pharmaceutical that's going to come with any guarantee other than we got the next pharmaceutical in line ready for you. So if you give this a good adult try for 90 days and you don't have some measurable results, whether it's your blood sugar, your A1C, your waistband, they'll totally give your money back. So I think that's a pretty powerful thing. There's 2 different packets we have. One is called the Unicity. You drink this when you're not eating. And then you have the orange packet.
Show those
Pink
again.
packet, orange or yellow packet. There's the Unicity, and there's a number of different flavors of this one. And then we have the red packet or the orange packet. That's the balance or the fiber. So if you can see on there, the top one
Would
is...
you show them again?
I'm sorry.
I'll edit that out, but basically it didn't switch till just now. Go ahead. Just show them again. Talk about it again.
So we have 2 products. This is the Unicity, and this one you're going to drink when you're not eating. This one's going to help you to feel hungry or to feel satisfied, not hungry. The food noise is gone. It gives you good energy, no jitters, and it tastes amazing. I love this one. And then when you do eat, you have a balance. And you shake this up in your water, and it's going to get thick, kind of like applesauce. And you're going to drink it down, and it actually makes you feel fuller longer. It's going to keep your blood sugars down. This little packet is like metformin on steroids. So if you're taking metformin, it'll lower your blood sugars by about 23, 24%. This will lower your blood sugars by 45%. And
Wow.
it is pretty crazy. Not only that, this has 7 to 9 different soluble and insoluble plant fibers in it. And the reason you want different kind of fibers, like you can drink your Benefiber or your Metamucil, but it's just one type of fiber, which is fine. And I love the example. They said if you had a zoo and you decided you're going to feed everybody in the zoo bananas, well, your monkeys are very happy, but your lions die. And that's with our gut biome is like a zoo. There's all kinds of different critters and animals in there. And if we're only feeding them one type of food, the other ones die off and create more problems. So by feeding all of the little critters in the zoo, healing the gut, we're finding that gut-brain connection, which I think is fascinating in an era where everybody has anxiety, depression, and then 90% of your serotonin is actually made in the gut, but they're putting you on pills telling you your brain is off, and it's not necessarily your brain that's off, it's your gut health. And again, when 93% of us are dealing with issues, it's what's messing with our gut health is our medications and all the ultra-processed foods. We're really not getting much whole foods or natural stuff anymore. It's all processed, fake, packaged.
So describe a typical day.
On the Unicity?
Yeah.
Okay.
How does it start and how does it end?
Well, I'll tell you about my day today. So this morning, now I still like my coffee in the morning because I get up early. And if I have my Unimate too early, then I feel bad waiting for my next one because I love it so much. So I space my day with a little coffee in the morning, little whipping cream in there too, because the fat's not going to take you out of a fast. And then I will take my little packet, mix it up in my jug, and then I'll sip on this throughout my morning. And as I do that, again, I'm very satisfied and I've been able to extend my fast. I know when I first heard of fasting, I was a little bit anxious and I thought, well, I'm not going to skip my breakfast. And so I actually packed breakfast and took it to work with me. And all of a sudden I look up and it was 1 o'clock. It was ready for lunch. And I'm like, well, that was really easy. So start where you're at. I would say fasting is with Unicity is more mental than it is physical, but mental's real too. So today, I'm now working on my Unicity. I haven't had anything to eat yet. I will probably finish up here. I'll even go do my exercise and then go home at around 12:30 or 1. I'll probably fix up some good chicken salad. I will add some homemade cheese crisp crackers that I make by just cheese cooked in the oven, make little crispy crackers. I'll add some celery and I'll probably have a everyday protein shake because I'm trying to get 40 to 50 grams of protein as a minimum at each meal because I'm only eating 2 meals a day. So if when you do eat, you really have to make sure you're focusing on the protein and the fiber and the healthy fats. Those are going to keep you satisfied. So fasting is easy, as well as a lot of the people that are doing the GLP-1 shots, when you add that synthetically to your body stops making its own, as well as if you don't understand that you have to get the protein, you're losing lots of weight, but 40% of it is your muscle mass. And muscle is what burns most of the glucose in our bodies. So if you're getting rid of what's burning the glucose, you go off of this protocol, the shots, and now your cravings come back, your habits are still in place, you're going to blow up like a blowfish.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing that excited this about me, being in the weight loss industry, seeing everybody's moving towards doing something unhealthy, trying to get healthy because we're desperate. And I get it. I understand that frustration. So for me, I want people to know there is another alternative. This boosts your natural GLP-1 by 60 to 70%. That's amazing.
It is. So as we kind of, I'm going to run an ad. Basically, you've just talked about the protocol, and I just want to do a quick ad. And on there, you're going to see a QR code. If you're interested at all in the product, you can hit that QR code. There'll be contact information for Kathy, and I just encourage you to do that. So just check out this ad. She's a sponsor of today's show, so we're going to let her be a sponsor.
Can I talk real quick?
Yeah.
I want to make sure you see on this graph, because I kind of got in the weeds there, but on that top part, when we are not fasting and we wake up in the morning, we have breakfast, you can see we get this spike and they told us to eat, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, have a bowl of cereal and a banana and a glass of orange juice. All of that spikes your blood sugar really high. And the red line is insulin is high. Insulin still stays high, trying to clean up the mess, but your blood sugar drops. Now you're hungry again in about 2 hours. So now you have to have another snack. And we're doing that all day long, spiking the blood sugar. On the protocol, you can see down below how, yes, you're going to eat, but we're not spiking that blood sugar. Insulin is staying low. And we like to say, when insulin is low, fat can go. When insulin is high, you're going to die.
Yeah.
It might be slow and miserable, but you're going to die. So that's the only thing I could come up with that rhymed with that. But insulin is a huge piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, it is. And we've discovered that. And it has been life-changing. We can both say it, and it's not even one bit of a overstatement or understatement, I guess. Either way.
Right.
So anyway, but I want to just do that ad sponsor, and you can see some more information and follow the QR code if you'd like, and the contact information for Kathy if you're interested. This episode is sponsored by the Feel Great system from Unicity, a simple, science-backed way to take control of your health. I use this product every day and I love it. I just recommend it. If you're tired of fighting cravings, low energy, stubborn weight, or blood sugar swings, the Feel Great system is built for you. It's just 2 products and 1 daily practice, but the results speak for themselves. Start with Unimate, a powerful yerba mate extract packed with chlorogenic acids. It helps suppress hunger, boost mood, support ketone production, and naturally elevate your body's GLP response without stimulants, crashes, or side effects. People use it to feel focused, energized, and in control all day long. Then there's Balance, a fiber rich blend designed to slow carbohydrate absorption, support healthy blood sugar and insulin levels, reduce cravings, and promote a healthier gut. It helps you feel full longer and keeps your metabolism working the way it should. Together, Unimate and Balance help address the things so many of us struggle with: inflammation, fatigue, belly fat, cravings, and metabolic health in a way that's simple, sustainable, and proven. If you're ready to feel better, think clear, and take back control, check out the Feel Great system at unicity.com. Contact Kathy Workman or follow the QR code for the best price. Make life better the Feel Great way.
Make life better. I want to share real quick. This is a picture of me about a decade ago. So my journey in health and wellness started about a decade ago. And I look at this picture and I don't know what you can see or not see, but my feet are swollen. My whole body is swollen. This picture says a lot to me. This isn't a time in my life when I just let myself go. I was probably 45 pounds heavier in this picture. I was following all the wrong information. I was probably walking 4 to 8 miles a day. I'm eating, my whole grains, homemade bread, of course, because that's better for you. Having the cereals without the sugar in them, eating lots of fruit, and very, very frustrated and fat. And so when we start making some simple changes and we see the different results, that's why I say, if you're a skeptic, try it. You'll know right away. Use your body as your guide. And again, it's been the last decade. I've learned things along the way, use different systems. But in my Unicity system, your body wants to be at this place of homeostasis. We shouldn't be up and down all the time. And I have been able to keep my weight steady for the last year. My energy's steady. My cravings are steady. Sleeping good, all of those different things that tie in with that. And so I just feel like it is a great, whatever stage in the process that you're in, whether you've worked hard to get your weight off, now you want to keep it off, whether you've maybe been on a GLP-1 and you're like, okay, it's time to get onto something else that's going to be natural. This is a great next step. Or if you've never done anything and you just need a little extra support and you need to get started, again, this is a great protocol for all stages.
And the truth of the matter is when people look at the cost, everyone thinks everything's expensive until it's their car or something else they want fixed. But, in terms of fixing our bodies, we don't necessarily want to spend the money on that. It doesn't make any sense. But when you look at this product, and again, for me, again, they claim it is, and it is. It's cost neutral. If you're actually doing the protocol and doing a 16-8 fast, and you're skipping breakfast and actually changing a lot of your other diet things in terms of what you would normally do or eat out, all those kind of things, it ends up paying for itself probably 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Just in the sense of saving money on money that you would typically have spent because of the lifestyle change. It becomes cost neutral. It becomes a lifestyle.
I had a perfect example of that yesterday. So I went down to Helena, and I always take my drinks and things with me. But it got warm, and the kids they like my granny juice, so they're all drinking out of it. And I'm like, I just want something ice cold. And so I stopped at the gas station, went in, I thought, well, I'll just get a big iced tea, got an iced tea. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to grab a jerky. So I found a low carb piece of jerky, and I did the checkout, and it was $7 by the time I got an iced tea and a jerky. And I thought, okay, this is exactly what I keep telling my clients. It is cost neutral if you plan. And the other thing that's funny is, again, it's a programming and a brainwashing. Nobody can give me the price of what it costs them to get sick and overweight. They have no idea what it cost them to do that. But all of a sudden, they've got a solution to get healthy, and they wanna break it down to the cost. "Oh, it costs so much." It's $1.74 for a little packet that I do 3 times a day.
Right.
To me, that's pretty darn affordable. We're not drinking our juices. Our grocery shopping has gotten so simple.
No pops. Drop that.
No, and the
I
snacks, you're
I
just
do
not
drink iced
snacking.
tea, but I love iced tea, but
Mhm.
my point is like just so many things have just dropped off that we would normally
Yeah,
buy.
the little quick drive-throughs, the stop at the gas
It's
stations.
crazy.
That's the first time I've done that, and I came out of there going, "Ugh." I was frustrated with myself.
I used to love that Huckleberry or whatever it was, or Bayberry, Pro Water, or, what is it called?
Smart water,
Smart Water or
dumb
something.
water.
But it wasn't but it would
Yeah.
didn't have any calories or
Oh,
sugar or anything,
sucralose.
but I loved it, but it was
Yeah.
still, $2.59 or whatever they charged, and
Yep.
I could do that 3 times a week,
Yeah.
pretty easily,
Pretty easily. Yeah.
so it's, again, you gotta be truthful with yourself, and, again, I don't necessarily wanna live forever like your dad always used to say, "You wanna live to 120." I do wanna keep getting better, and I do physically wanna get better. I'm literally doing things physically that I have, since my mid-40s couldn't do anymore. And my body's changing in so many wonderful ways in the sense of strength and agility and that kind of thing. And so I feel like it's just gotten better, and food is and eating and what energy we putting in is absolutely primary, right? And
Well,
so
even your energy business, you all know energy matters. And, we'd not put our garden hose in our car to make it run because we know it won't run well. But we use garden hose for ourselves all the time when we're filling ourselves with food that has zero nutritional value. And when you're eating those foods that are high in the carbohydrates and no nutritional value, you just are hungry all the time because your body needs protein. So if we can learn to listen to our bodies again and fuel properly, it really makes a huge, huge difference. And again, they're mindsets that we've all been programmed into to thinking and, oh, we got to get it cheap and fast. And it's like, we're talking about your body. This is the thing you live in 24/7. You only get one of them and it lasts you your whole life. Let's take care of it. But if the wind came along and took the roof off your house, you fix it. You hit a deer with your car, you fix it.
100%. You would never neglect to fix just about everything else in your life.
Mhm.
But somehow we think we can just skate by and not have to take care of ourselves. So, well, anyway, as we're going to wrap it up here, but I just thank you. Thanks, Kathy, for coming. And again,
Mhm.
just to encouragement to all you folks out there, this is going to be a regular deal. There's so much science and so much to bring each week. Again, we're going to be promoting Unicity, there's no doubt. But at the same time, there's gonna be a lot of learning here about, and you're gonna hear things that, "Oh, I never heard that before," or maybe I have heard that before, and now it's starting to realize that that's true. So it's repetitively, us putting out the message. We encourage you to join us. Like I said, subscribe and like, it helps the show. We're gonna be doing this every Thursday. I'll get these edited and put out as fast as possible. And again, I try to, in this podcast, we're called the Pioneer Mind Podcast, and pioneers leave the known to go to the unknown a lot of times. And again, I feel like we've lost a lot of the spirit of people who are stepping out, building things, creating things. We have a sound mind. We are wise as serpent and as gentle as doves. And the Bible says to take every thought captive. And one of my encouragements I always end the show with is your mind is your greatest weapon. Develop it, read books, enter into deep conversations on a routine basis as a habit. Get in conversations with people that know more than you or know more about a subject than you, and be a learner, a lifelong learner. Begin the process of exercising, moving every day. I have to say I'm not this. Kathy likes to walk. I'm not a dreamer about walking or things like that. But I do love when I go and do my exercises. I jump my rope. I do my squats. I do those kind of things. And as a routine, I've developed this habit that I just love it. I feel great after I do it. So I just know that that's huge. And then, be a lifelong learner about your own health. That's one thing we've learned, and it's encouragement to you, is what you eat, what you put in as energy, what you put in as fuel is absolutely the end game. And you can't even exercise without the right fuel. So it's the beginning of the process. And again, if you're not reading books, I talked to some people just recently, I've never read a book, or I've read one book in high school, and I just can't even conceive of someone not reading. So we need to be learners, we need to develop our minds, we need to start thinking about what we're thinking about and realize that a lot of times our thoughts are trying to deceive us. And the world's after us, propaganda, news, media, other voices, people. How many things are screaming at you, right? They're just screaming at you constantly. And so we've got to really boil it down to that we're going to be our own best advocate, in some ways, even in this, our own best health advocate. So I encourage you with that. And as we close today, again, thanks for coming. Thanks, Kathy, for coming. It's been a good show, and we'll get this out, and we'll do this each week. And thanks for coming. Subscribe and like, and we'll go from there. Thanks.